if you do come back, I don't know. No one's here right this second, but I've decided to break away from Dune: The Awakening long enough to maybe paint a couple miniatures, paint some terrain, and of course I'm kind of doing this the cheaty way in that I'm starting with a base rust coat, and then I'll go back and I'll pick out the tires and everything like that. So I think it'll be good. So let's see. It's kind of crazy. I kind of can understand it a little bit, but to me it's still kind of crazy that I cannot find the actual cure video for killing an Arab anywhere on YouTube. You can see it live. You can see remakes by other bands. Like you can even hear the album version, but but you're not going to see the video. And it's like, you know, whatever. I mean, the video wasn't super exciting anyway. It's just an old man fixing a fishing net, thinking about his time in the war, you know. And you know, apparently at some point it had come down to him trying to decide whether to shoot an Arab or let him go. Now, one thing a lot of people may not know, but maybe British people do, is during World War II specifically, the Bedouin in North Africa had a tendency to, if there was an Allied camp, the Bedouin had this tendency where they would build their campfires around the Allied camp in a triangle. And the reason they did that was so that any German night bombers that flew over would know that even though they couldn't see the Allied camp, mostly British, but you know, that if they dropped bombs within the triangle, then they were definitely going to hit, in theory, you know, some of the British soldiers. Now, to me, I think that's kind of scummy because, you know, if you caught these guys dead at it, you know they're going to deny that they were doing anything and, you know, whatever. And so I wonder if sometimes if that was the backdrop of the whole song, you know. I'm the stranger killing an Arab. Which, to be fair, that is a very nihilistic song. I mean, I mean, there is a verse where he's basically like, I can pull the trigger, I could walk away. In the end, what difference will it make? Absolutely nothing. You know, so it's like, okay, you're literally talking about taking a human life, or not, or
Well, that was hot and miserable.
well, you know, you
Sun came back out, but I got a key and I got a couple keys and food out of them.
hey, good job, baby. But so yeah, I don't know. I wonder if that's the scenario in which a British soldier might find himself in a position to where he's killing an Arab. Because I don't know. Other than the Palestinians that, you know, fought for the Germans in World War II, you know, like the Mufti of Palestine and all that they fought for the Germans. And numerous times you can look up quotes where mustachioed Austrian bemoaned the fact that the Germans were predominantly Christian instead of Muslim because he found Christianity to be too, I don't know, full of mercy or something. Whereas he was very, very impressed with Islam. And now this is all memory, so I could be a little wrong on some points, but if I remember correctly, the Grand Mufti was the only non-German in the history of that war that was put in command of German troops. So, you know. So that's something, I guess, you know. But I mean, it goes to show how much the Austrian really liked that guy, which is strange, but hey, you know, maybe it's strange to me now because everybody wants to claim that Arabs and Turks and whatnot are brown people, but the Germans of World War II did not consider them to be brown people. They were considered to be white people. So I don't know. So I went back on my soda car because I'd watched the movie. And in the movie, their visors are glossy black. So I went back and I'm getting ready to take a hard coat and put a little hard coat over their visors so that it'll reflect a little bit, you know? So my hard coat right in front of me, is it? Nope, that is Valhalla Blizzard. We don't want to put that on their visors. That would be weird. There it is. Hard coat. I like hard coat. Yeah, I want them to be shiny. Now, there's Leth. Let's see what Leth's got to say about life today. In Dune, the Sardaukar have like top knots out of their helmets.
I was somehow behind on your video.
You are?
Yeah. I think it got desynced or something for me.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well.
Are you hearing me now?
Yeah, I am. It was more on the video itself, you know. It went from being live to not live or
I'll tell
playback.
you what, putting that gloss hard coat on those face plates changes the whole game.
Okay.
Well, I'm putting hard coats on my Sardaukar.
Ah. Well, James, I want to ask you a question.
You, dude, that's why I have you on.
Yeah. Do you like horse racing?
Not really.
Okay then. Yeah, that's fair enough.
I
Just
mean, I know it's kind of like my home Commonwealth's whole thing,
Yeah, that's kind of a Kentucky thing. Yes.
but I mean, where I lived, we had a horse, but there was nowhere you could race it
No, it's more in the flatlands. That's fair.
because, yeah, where you going to race that horse up a rocky hillside? You break its leg. So
Yeah, this isn't Skyrim. They can't just cling to the side of a cliff.
yeah, they're not just going to cling to the side of a cliff. You'll break a leg and then, have to put your horse down. And then that sucks because one thing I think we have in common is a love of horses.
They're cool. I mean, I would like, kind of would like to
My
have one,
family
but I
always
really
owned
wouldn't.
them.
Be a problem taking care of it.
Yep.
I didn't want to take care of the miniature ponies mainly because what do I get out of that?
Yep. My family always owned horses. As a matter of fact, still does, except the horse we got now is an old Appaloosa. And
Apparently,
she is.
when I was very young, we had like not a miniature pony, but a pony, and it was the angriest, meanest thing ever.
Yeah, ponies are. They are mean little bastards.
The
But
miniature ponies were very
Appaloosa
skittish.
is just retired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's retired. She's done whatever she was going to do. Her time is up. She's retired. So she wanders around in the cow field and, basically eats whatever she wants to eat.
Oh, well, the reason I was asking was actually because there's this weird Asian game where they made a horse racing game but turned all the horses into cute anime girls.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. The funniest part is a lot of people are getting into it and learning about the lore of the horses that the girls are named after.
Leave it to the Japanese. You know what I mean?
I think the game was, it was a Japanese IP that I think the Koreans made the game out of.
Okay, same thing. I know the Koreans would not be happy if I said that, but of all the Asian people, Japan and Korea are the closest.
Oh boy, but
yeah.
At
one point, Korea was actually owned by Japan, actually at multiple points. So
yeah, they were also invaded pretty early on whenever Hideyoshi came into power.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well. Going all the way back to however far you want to go back, the Japanese have always been, involved.
Yeah, Hideyoshi wanted to keep his power, so he tried to point everyone towards the new enemy of the Koreans, and it didn't work out for him. And then that's how you get Tokugawa.
Huh.
Pretty much.
Well, you probably know way more about that than I do, so I will go ahead and believe you.
Apparently, a lot of people are really liking two different horse girls for two different reasons, or horses, I guess, this situation. One
Mm.
is Goldship, which apparently was a really good racehorse who apparently was not applying itself because even after racing for all its time, still in very healthy condition, which is unusual
Which
for a
means it
horse.
was going easy.
Yeah. It's unusual for a horse to come out of racing and be in like great health because they usually run ragged at the end after all the
Right. Kind of like how people adopt greyhounds because at the end of their racing, they're just so uh,
tired.
tired and wore out.
Yeah, well, also Goldship was a big show off to the cameras. Loved posing for cameras.
Oh, he was always mugging for the cameras.
Oh yeah, some of the goofy faces that horse made towards the cameras are in the show or game. Just so weird.
RPG pundits live running a role playing game or talking about the last Vikings for
Oh
Baptism of Fire.
yeah, he was on D&D's channel. I seen that earlier.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Double D.
Huh.
The second horse though was one that always lost, but apparently has like tons of fans. I guess people really liked it for the underdog story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. In the game, they made the character to just be really happy, even if she loses.
Oh. I'm alive.
People bet on that horse and just
And
kept losing, and
dead.
it's like huge amounts of fans apparently just bet on that horse for
I'm a stranger
liking it, I guess.
killing an Arab.
Oh.
Dun it, 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 dun it. Some people said some stuff.
Interesting. For some reason, your restream on here doesn't show it.
Yeah. No, I'm looking at comments.
That's weird. I thought there were comments on your chat. Apparently not. Oh, yeah, they probably are watching something else.
No, I was actually on YouTube looking at stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder if I can get this video taken down. What do you think? You think I can?
What video taken down?
The one that I'm filming right now.
Oh, the stream? Yeah, I guess you could if you really want.
Like, okay. Let's make this full screen, and let's also make it. Where's the volume button? There. Let's close down the volume a little bit. We don't want it to be too loud. This is weird looking.
Yeah.
I mean, that is strange looking, ain't it?
A bit. It's just, I guess, the legs of someone.
Oh well, yeah. It's this is an old song. Left you probably never heard it.
Probably.
It's a song somebody took and made a video for. And in case you can't guess where this is, I mean, can you guess where this is?
I'm not sure.
Well,
Some desert.
yeah, it's Afghanistan. The guy singing the song is Kuno, and he was actually a very popular kind of Russian folk musician back during all of this time. You know, when like they were in Afghanistan and everything. Which, I mean, let's be honest, Afghanistan broke the Soviet Union. The fact that they had to withdraw from Afghanistan pretty much was the end
Yeah.
of
Should military action be
this
required,
bastard.
this will not be another Vietnam. This will not be a protracted, drawn-out war.
It wasn't either. Look at that shit. And LRS's Tomahawk. Hey, there's my baby.
Bradley.
Yeah. The only thing is, like, Metallica is really, like, they will get after you if you're, like, listening to any of their music. They're terrible for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, and it's like, okay, it's their music.
Look
I
at
get
you.
it,
You're
whatever.
doing
But
everything you can.
it's like,
And to get your blood pressure.
it's like, you ain't got to be a dick about it, though. So my brother-in-law visited last night, and we were all excited because we're all like, we're going to play Valheim together. And he showed up. I was like already going to bed. I was like, damn it. But it is what it is. Okay. Lube. I just muted it. This, of course, is Afghanistan, too. It looks like it could be Chechnya. Stop. I think this might be Chechnya. Just based on. Guy's just standing there chugging out of vodka. To my girlfriend, please remember me. At BRDM 3, it looked like. That's an airborne thing that they usually drop with airborne units.
Комбат, батяня, комбат, ты сердце не
And direct firing those SU-127. ERC looks just like that dude. One running with the black Yukon. All right, that's enough of that for a minute. So you've been culturally
Enriched.
because you've seen some old war folk music that the Russians wrote back in the day. Yeah, I think my favorite Russian song is probably Sudno.
I like the Black Hunter.
That's a cool looking robot. Molchat Dama, I think, or
It's
Molchat
Legion from
Dama.
Mass Effect.
Oh, nice. I have this Reaper made evil plant that I'm getting ready to paint. That's one thing Reaper makes actually that's kind of cool is they make a lot of like creatures that can be protagonists or they can be
Evil
just part
monsters
of the terrain.
or part of the terrain.
Yeah, I mean, because this thing kind of it fills both positions, you know.
Yeah.
Especially if you determine that it can't move.
Oh yeah.
So you put it on the board, and of course, as long as none of the players get within whatever the reach of this creature is, then who cares, right? Unless you're playing Gamma World and this creature's got some kind of mental mutation that makes you want to walk up to it and go to sleep. In which case, yeah, that's bad. Because, you know.
It just reminds me of the Cheshire Cat, or not the Cheshire Cat, the caterpillar from
Right.
from Dungeon Land.
Yeah.
Smoke that hookah, you're gonna just sit there and have your character turn neutral and game over.
Game over. Combat.
Well, isn't it? Whenever your character gets his alignment changed forcibly.
Well, in AD&D, you lose like a level. I mean, losing alignment in AD&D is like a really big deal, and it really, really sucks. It's like, yep, not what I wanted to do, but you know.
Also, with that one, I think it also basically makes your character completely unplayable because I think you're just stuck there smoking hookah until you die or something.
Hey, you know. So basically, your character becomes a useless stoner, and you just kind of sit there until you die, accomplishing nothing. Makes sense.
I guess it's better than the having to fight the Dormouse.
F that Dormouse.
Or the Mad Hatter.
Isn't the Dormouse like a level 20 monk or some shit?
Yeah, he's a level 20 monk.
It's like Gary Gygax. To my knowledge, I can't specifically 100% say that he did drugs, but that adventure leads me to believe
he did drugs.
That he might have did some drugs.
Oh, I'd believe it.
I've heard he liked a little coke every now and then, but I don't know. However, that whole module, whoever wrote it, and I think it was him,
I remember
had to have been just stoned.
I remember hearing a story, and they had like a level 18 bard in their group, and the bard got paired up with the Dormouse. He's like, haha, now you have to cross swords with me, and you don't have a sword, my friend. Dormouse just jumps up on the table, cracks his knuckles, and punches him across the room.
Right? It's like,
It's like, well,
that's one of those adventures that I have never understood why it was made and who it was made for.
I don't know.
Because it's like, and this could be totally just a me issue, but it's like, if I'm playing D&D, I don't want to play Alice in Wonderland. And
Not even a very dangerous dungeon variant of Alice in
not
Wonderland.
even a weird dungeon variant of it. So I am just not 100% certain, like, who that was for, what he was trying to do, etc. I just really don't know.
They just thought it would be fun.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but this is the same guy that did Barrier Peaks too. Another adventure that a lot of Greyhawk fans seem to really like, and that I personally despise.
Why?
Because I know Greyhawk is kind of a weird gonzo world,
Oh, it definitely is.
but the idea that, I mean, I guess Greyhawk exists in the Star Frontiers universe.
Sort of, I guess. I don't know on that one.
And
It's
that
weird.
was like a Star Frontiers ship that crashed or something. I mean, yeah, who knows, right?
Either Greyhawks in the Star Frontiers world or something from the Star Frontiers world came into Greyhawk.
Right. So it's like,
And I could see it either way because, I mean, there's a point where you could go to Castle Greyhawk and fight the cast of Star Trek.
well, I mean, because like I said, Greyhawk is, I think, and this is just me thinking out loud, really. We know that Gygax liked Zelazny. Zelazny wrote, The Princes of Amber, right? In which you had the. What's up, Overkill? The new Viking book. Let me ask you something. Does it allow you to play Vikings in the Kievan Rus part of the world?
Or is it
Like,
just
could you play Yarapolk of Kiev? Could you play Vladimir the Great? Any of that?
How
Or
would
is it
you
about
play?
Vikings that live in actual, like, Norway and Scandinavia? Or both?
Maybe it's both. I mean, I could see it either way.
I didn't expect Double D to have a stream today, so I was caught with my pants down. But yeah, Overkill Joe, if you're hanging out, give me a very short. I'll probably watch the video myself later, but I am
probably will too.
nosy. I am nosy. So if
That one does interest me a lot. I kind of like the Viking aesthetic. I'd probably play a Viking character now in that game.
Well, I mean, I've been kind of bitching at Pundit for quite a while about, okay, you've made the game about 10th century Poland. Where's the game about 10th century Kiev, the Kievan Rus,
Yeah.
Haven't got my copy yet, but he's got tribes from all over plus Christians versus, yeah.
Christian versions too.
Well, Christians versus, what the thing is, because a lot of the Baltic tribes refused till almost the very end to convert to Christianity. But the Vikings that had settled Russia converted in 988. And that was pretty much the state religion after Vladimir the Great. That's what I keep saying. We need the Rus. I mean, I want to be able to make a character from the Rus book and play it in the Baptism of Fire book, and vice versa. Because I mean, literally, if you look at the map of Poland in the Baptism of Fire book, if you head east any distance, you will end up in Kiev. And it's like, okay, I guess you can use the barbarians that he put in, the Baptism of Fire book to count as whatever, or maybe it just doesn't matter. Maybe fighter is fighter, regardless of whether it's Polish or, Slavic or Norwegian or Swedish or whatever,
Maybe.
But I think an opportunity was missed because, and who knows, maybe they'll jump on it at a later date. But really, if you do the Kievan Rus, then the next natural order of things is to do the Byzantine Empire, which they've already touched on with the Silk Road stuff. I mean, they did mention that I would, yeah, because I am steeped. We is steeped in old timey music. Anyway, quote from "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" But yeah, the idea of a Viking either wanting to go to Byzantine to serve as a Varangian, or even cooler, your 30-something-year-old Viking who's got a shit ton of money, who has done his service, and now he's wanting to head back up into the Northlands to try to establish himself. I wish I'd even knew that was. I've been helping my wife. I still got a chore to do. I got to take the glass thing off of the light on the back porch area and dump all the bugs out of it. You know how,
Mm-hmm.
insects like to get into the freaking thing and die.
Yeah.
It's good to be in Double D's thoughts and prayers, I guess. And Chris Miller knows how passionate I am about a Kievan Rus game. But, I mean, between you and me, though, you could make a Kievan Rus game just using Baptism of Fire. I mean, the cultural differences are not so great. Like Silk Road, you kind of got to do your own thing there because you're dealing with like Han Chinese or whatever, Sung Chinese, whichever Chinese it was. And you're dealing with Arabs,
Yeah, we can call it trade.
Right. It was a big trade route, right?
Yeah, no,
You might
it's what
run
he was
into,
talking
like-
about. What he said. We can call it trade.
Yeah. They the thing with the Vikings is they did a lot of trade and they did a lot of conquest,
Yeah,
and we remember them for the conquest,
I know.
even though they didn't always attack everywhere they went.
No, they didn't.
It wasn't like they were a bunch of maniacs that,
Well, maybe some of them were, but not all
well,
of them.
some of them might have been. So you would have Vikings who would literally, they would sail down like the Vistula or the Olga, one of the big rivers running through Russia until the river ended. And then they would pick their boats up and carry it to the next river and put it back in the river and then keep going, right? And by that way, they would make it all the way down to Crimea, which was not called Crimea back then. It had a different name. And then You know, if they were big, bad, tough bastards, they might get an audience with the king, the emperor of the Eastern Roman Empire, and he might take them on as his Varangian guard, which was a 20-year term, I believe.
And again, I would like to play a Viking character. Sounds like it'd be cool.
It would, I think. You know, I mean, a lot of people play Viking characters in D&D. Let's be honest, you know. They make a fighter, but in their head, they look like a Norse raider. So, it's not really, you know, I don't think it's asking too much. And yes, I'll probably end up buying this thing because the thing is, the Vikings pretty much spread down and started taking over part of ancient Russia, which at the time really didn't have a lot of kings or anything. And they did a lot of raiding and slaving too. Believe me, they were doing their thing. But in the end, the Slavs of the region basically asked the Rus, which is, I believe, the Slavic word maybe for wolf, a Rus, and pretty much the Slavs asked the Rus to rule them because they couldn't get their shit together. Like, if you lived in Russia back in those days, you left your village, it was a free-for-all. You know what I mean? Everyone was killing everyone. There was no laws to speak of about what to do and what not to do. And it was ruled by the strong. There was no law. And when the Vikings came in, they started conquering cities and towns, and they started instituting laws. And the native Slavs were like, hey, you know, these laws where you can't randomly just murder people, they're pretty good. I like them, you know? So that's kind of what happened. I hate drinking out of a straw. I really do. Ugh. So, I mean, there's more to it, but like, Slavic culture prior to that was what they called the big man culture. And basically, to be the big man, you had to give the most, the Rus pack. Except you're spelling it phonetically, but it's R-U-S. Rus.
Kievan Rus.
Yeah. Well, I guess Chris Miller put out a book specifically about Vikings that is to go along with Baptism of Fire. And I'm just wondering, you know, if it's going to involve, you know, the Russian part of the Scandinavians. And if it does, then I will be a very, very happy man. But again, like I said, if you really wanted to play a Kievan Rus character and everything like that, you could do it with just the Baptism of Fire book. Like, you really don't need a special book to do that.
Why would you want to?
Why would I want to what?
Play Kievan Rus. I'm teasing.
Just to be like, I'm Kievan Rus, and I'm going to wander about and do things. Maybe I'll invade the Redlands, which are currently being held by the Poles, and try to take it back. Because it used to be part of the Rus Empire, but one of the Polish kings came in and was like, yeah, this is ours now.
Where's our Bohemian? You know?
Bohemia is Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, exactly. Where's our Bohemia source books? Where's our, you know, 5 different types of people that live in France source books? Where's our, you know, like everything in role-playing games that they do real world for the most part, not always, but for the most part, tends to focus on Russians, Vikings, Brits, and Romans. Maybe some Greeks once in a while, you know?
Well, I mean, the whole freaking RuneQuest is Greeks.
Yeah, we've covered it to death. Why don't we start finding people start doing stuff that's not that and see what interesting shit they can find? Like the Romanians. Fuck.
They're
How about
they're
the-
actually mentioned in the book.
Yeah, they get
because-
mentioned, but like look at the cool shit about the what's that term they use because of the D to describe themselves? The not the doc. I can't remember what it is, but they fucking carved a statue of that one king on a cliffside on a river and all that shit.
Right.
That stuff's fucking interesting.
Well, for Baptism of Fire, that would be much later. Because Baptism of Fire takes place like just when the First Crusade is kicking off. So,
Well, how about a book about the Incans or something?
that is easy. I would direct you to our good friend John, the basic expert, who has written, an actual role-playing game about playing a Central American. Or I think
Aztecs. He's made a game about the Aztecs.
Okay,
So,
how about this?
People?
A what-if scenario for an RPG where you work for a Christian samurai who in real life didn't go back to Japan to take it back over, but does in this situation.
I don't know because I'm not a huge
that's a bit
fan of
weird.
what if scenarios anyway. And if I'm going to play a Weeb game, it's going to be L5R.
Okay, fair. You could probably do that in the L5R rule set. Just
Well,
make it
there's no
historical
Christianity
Japan.
in L5R
I know. I'm saying you could probably take the rule set though and just
because
put-
it's an
the
entirely
world around
different world. It
but
looks like our world, but it is not our world.
yeah. But yeah, James, there was a Japanese Christian who was in Japan who got exiled after Tokugawa exiled them. And the
Well, they
Spanish,
were getting a little bit worried about the power of the Jesuits. And
Yeah.
that is, in my opinion, understandable.
the Spanish tried to get him to go back and take over Japan, make him the new shogun, and he's just like, nah, I don't want to.
Like,
just lived his
yeah,
life in the
that's going
Philippines.
to end up with my head getting cut off. So I think I'll pass on that. Yeah, true Goth character. Even though the Goths were actually a Germanic tribe, they were in the neighborhood. So absolutely, the Goths were an issue, and the Vins. Like if you read Baptism of Fire, they go over multiple tribes, like the Balkans, including Lithuanians, and I think they might even touch a little bit on like the Finns, stuff like that. So, I mean, you could really play if you wanted to give your characters a crew and a longship in Baptism of Fire. You could play a group of merchants / raiders. They're just cruising up and down the Baltic Ocean, the Baltic Sea, doing their thing, like a great example is a character that we made for the Doom game ended up becoming like 3 characters, because you've got Hungar's character, who is a commander, house commander, possibly related to the house. And because he chose as an asset a company of infantrymen, it meant that a captain had to be made, and that's a sub character. And quite possibly maybe a sergeant has to be made too. Yeah, but the problem, Overkill, with the winged hussars, except in a fantasy world, in case they would be awesome.
You're robot in there.
Bear lost his whatever. Is they were very, very late, like 14th and 15th century. Like one of the
That better?
Yeah,
that's
that's
better.
great, Bear. One of the winged hussars' primary weapons was a brace of pistols. So if you wanted to play in a fantasy world where, you know, pistols are a thing, yeah, winged hussars would be, you know,
Well,
awesome.
actually, in the time of that game set in, it's a little bit before the Winged Hussars existed.
Well, Baptism of Fire is way before the winged hussars existed.
Yeah.
It's the time of Miroslav or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, I think if I remember the lore right, he never becomes king, even though he is the guy that unites Poland. And how he united Poland is very Dune-like. He pretty much converted all the Poles to Christianity. And once all the various tribes of the Poles were all Christian, they stopped having as much to fight about, you know, like differences. So the idea of then making a united Polish nation based on language and ethno group and etc. actually become a thing that they did. And that's basically, yeah, that he definitely used Christianity as a unifying power to get all of the various Slavic tribes that were in Poland at the time to calm the F down and you know, become one nation. And for a long time, they were a very powerful nation during that period. Yeah. Like they took land from the Kievan Rus. They took land all over the place. They were fighting with the pagans to the north. They were fighting with the pagans to the west. Because the Wends, or Vins, as they called them, they were a Slavic tribe, but they were pagan up until like, I don't know, a long, long time. And like I said, most of the Balkan tribes just absolutely despised Christian, you know, like most people, they didn't like somebody knocking on their freaking hut door and asking if they've heard of our Lord and Savior. So they would typically handle it by boiling you alive or something like that. They really, really hated Christianity. Why? I don't know, but they really did. And then, of course, the native Slavs had their gods, Belobog and Chernobog and Miranda or whatever her name is. And it's an unfortunate thing that a lot of their gods demanded human sacrifice. So, like Chernobog fed on blood, you know, and I think their fertility goddess had to be fed blood. So they would build these giant, basically like totem poles devoted to their gods. And then they would do their sacrifices there. And it was Vladimir the Great that put an end to all that shit. Because he rolled in and said, nope, you're all getting dunked in the river. And if you really want to fight about it, then I'll stick a sword in your guts. And that's just how it's going to be. And everybody was like, cool. You know, yeah. What are you going to do? I mean, not only is he the king of the Rus, but he's also married to the sister of the Eastern Roman Emperor. So even had the Rus tried to reject Christianity like through force, the Eastern Romans could have sailed their ships right up to Kiev. And the one thing that was a fact in that time period is it was kind of when Eastern Rome was at the height of their power. So most of the tribes in that region, the last thing they wanted to do is get into a war with the Eastern Romans. In the book Viking, or the movie Vikings, the Russian one, there's even a scene when the Penichegs are trying to burn Kiev to the ground, and you hear, like, you know, a brass horn or something, and you see like 2 or 3 Eastern Roman dromons coming up the river. And for those of you who don't know, dromon's just a big warship. And the Penicheg leave. And the guy who's fighting alongside him, that's a Viking, he's like, "Where are you going?" And the Khan of the Penicheg are like, "We do not fight the Romans." And they left, you know. So, of course, the Vikings that were trying to kill Vladimir, they had to leave too, because 99% of their army had left. But yeah, the Penichegs had learned. You don't fight Eastern Rome. And that was also during the time of Basil Prosphorus.
Sounds like I gotta go.
Uh-oh.
I'll pay you.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But that was the time of the Emperor Basil, also known as Basil the Bulgar Slayer.
It's a good name.
Well, because he killed a bunch of Bulgars.
Well, as I said, it's a good name.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was a period when the Eastern Empire was really flexing. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And they would take ships to Kiev to trade with the Kievan Rus. And mostly it was a lot. The main thing the Kievan Rus had to offer the Eastern Romans was like manpower. You know what I mean? Like at this particular time, a city on the Crimean Peninsula had declared independence, blah, blah, blah. So the Eastern Romans the emperor had sent their guys up to the Vikings expressly to recruit Vikings to come south and liberate the city. And he had offered to give Vladimir basically anything he wanted. And Vladimir chose his sister. Yeah. See, when I bought, and Bear, jump in anytime if I say anything that interests you.
Yeah, my computer's just having some problems.
When I bought Baptism of Fire, I also bought the Silk Road and all those things. So the character you're talking about, Overkill, the Carpathian Slavs standing against the Islamic invasion, you 100% could play that. Just remember that at that time, Carpathia was part of the Eastern Roman Empire. I mean, all of the Balkans, I was right. All of the Balkan states were part of Eastern Rome. Crimea was Eastern Rome. All of the land around the Black Sea on the west side. Your sound freaked out again. On the west side was Eastern Rome, and on the east side it was Armenia. So, if you want
How
to
about
play,
now?
good. If you wanted to play a character who spent all of their time trying to defend Eastern Rome from the Rum Turks and stuff like that, or Rum, yeah, you could do that with Baptism of Fire very easily. And with the Trade Road thing, which actually gives you the stats for, the Muslims, the Turks, etc. So, yeah. At the same time, you could really flip it up and you could play a Mongol. You know what I mean? an Avar, a Pinacheg or Pecheneg, a Hun. I mean, so the opportunities for like role playing are pretty much endless, especially if the majority of your game group are dudes. And I say that because most women are not interested in any game set in the real world, like fantasy games. Just for whatever reason, they don't care. It's sweaty boy stuff. They want to play elves, etc. You guys have heard me talk about this before, you know. But I mean, there's kind of proof to it. I mean, look at Jenny D. She never cosplays as a Mongolian woman or a Balkan female, you know. She always cosplays as a gnome or an elf because, you know, I think
I
that,
have no opinion on this whatsoever, and will say nothing that will at all drive me the ire and hatred of the Jenny D world.
oh, I love the Jenny D world.
Liar, liar.
You know what? Jenny D is a mid that managed to make something of it.
That is a fair assessment.
And I have nothing but respect for her. I just wish she didn't post so much on X about how much she hates white men, especially when she's married to one.
Isn't she getting boned by one?
Right. I mean, she'll post shit about how she hates the white man, but she's getting the great white pipe every night.
Or maybe she's not. Maybe she's pegging him.
Or maybe, yeah, I mean, we did discuss how that's a lot more common with that generation.
Yeah.
Like, even the thought of that makes me want to throw up. You know what I mean? I just cannot imagine a man allowing himself to be done that way.
I have no opinion on this because it is not a topic that I have a desire to discuss, other than it's funny to say that Jenny D pegs her husband.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, if you know what I mean.
I mean,
But,
I'm being judgmental as hell here, and I admit it. But the difference is whatever you and your wife are doing in your home, I'm not trying to stop you. I'm just saying I find it absolutely aberrant, but it's because I'm a man. And the idea of
James-
something penetrating me, bleh.
Okay, again, no desire to get too deep down that rabbit hole. Specifically, pun intended. But anyway, I think we're
You don't want to go
looking
too deep down that manhole?
I think manholes need covers. But anyway, back to the point that I was going to make was that I think we live in a time where, again, we really need to create the month of July as shame month after, June being Pride Month. I think we just need to have a month where everybody dials it the fuck back and takes a long, hard think about what they just did. Because I literally had a friend send me, women are now posting videos of themselves on YouTube cleaning, like, the couch, the cabinets, whatever, wearing either see-through nylons or a see-through dress and nothing underneath, so you can pretty much see everything to get around the no nudity violation thing for YouTube, to then draw people to their OnlyFans or their clips for sale or whatever the fuck it is they have. We really, 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 really need to come to Jesus real fucking soon. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't care if it's Christian Jesus, AI Jesus, fucking rock troll
Just
Jesus.
some form of morality.
Something, because we've lost our fucking way.
Because, yeah.
It's-
Yeah, I agree.
anyway.
I'm not a big fan of all that, but hey,
It's crazy. And then there's this desperate need for us to literally, and I say this with all due respect to people out there, beat the living shit out of everyone on Reddit. Like, everyone on Reddit should be forced to say what they type on Reddit in front of people who could punch them in the mouth, just so they learn to shut the fuck up.
well, Reddit, I think, may be the most evil website online.
Someone said it's 4chan without the sense of humor.
Yeah, it's basically like Poll, but no one ever cracks a joke or posts a meme.
Yeah, no, these people are absolute cunts. They're so
Do
fucking
you know what
mean.
a snark is?
A snark?
Yeah.
I know what being snarky means, but what is a snark in particular?
A snark page or a snark is a page on Reddit, a subreddit, if you will, that is 100% devoted to destroying a human being.
Wow.
So now, obviously, I'm going to assume, just because you know who Ethan Klein is,
Yes.
there's a snark page on Reddit where all they do is sit around and plot ways to ruin him.
Wow.
And multiple people have snark pages. But it's always against somebody, and it kind of unifies I would call them maybe retards, but not in like the cool, maybe an extra chromosome happy way, but like in the, going out of their way to be assholes way.
Yeah.
And they create these snarks. And that's why Ethan has recently gone after Hassan, because they created a snark, did a bunch of bullshit, and then somebody called Child Protective Services on Ethan.
Jesus Christ.
And apparently, unlike Florida, where you can walk out and tell them to go F themselves, Ethan lives in California. And they're very aggressive in California.
There's a
So they went into Ethan's multi-million-dollar mansion because somebody called them and said his his kids are eating dog poop.
Jesus Christ.
And then someone else, probably off a snark, sent him skulls.
Human skulls?
A box full of human skulls.
Jesus Christ.
And of course, all of those idiots are constantly hoping he'll die.
Anyway.
Yeah,
Let's
I
talk
catch
about
you later,
role
Overkill.
Let's talk
And
about
it
role
really
playing, 'cause this is
comes
just
down
depressing.
to just a little background for you.
Yeah.
Ethan is a lefty. Like, he totally flipped. He used to be just a funny guy. He hung out with iDubbbz. He did funny shit. And then at some point, he totally flipped left, right?
Yeah.
Like hard left. To the point that his name is Ethan Klein. He's married to a woman who served in the IDF.
Yeah.
And he's pro-Palestine. Which to me is like a turkey being pro-Thanksgiving, but whatever. He was doing a partnership podcast with Hassan Abi.
Yeah.
And of course, all of the chatters in Hassan's chat were basically calling for him to die and calling him a filthy Zionist. And, and let's be honest, in the modern world, if someone says Zionist, they mean Jew.
Yeah. We know this.
I mean, you're not fooling anybody, right?
It is known, Carl. It is known.
It is known. And so they had kind of a thing, and all of the Hassan Piker orbiters have started like just going after Ethan. Like, saying things like how they'd like to murder his wife because she's a genocidal whatever because she served in the IDF. And it's like, those guys get drafted, right? I mean,
it's mandatory, right?
Yeah, it is
It has
100%
to be.
mandatory in Israel. And also her job in the IDF was like a secretary or something. Admin. It's not like she was out on the front lines doing anything, right? But and that's not the only snark. And for some reason, Reddit will get rid of the I Love Donald Trump page, but allow these hateful snark pages to just run amok.
Yeah. That's a
And
shock.
it's like, and me personally, I mean, I don't like Ethan Klein, but I'm definitely on Team Ethan here. And because of all of them, he's not the one that's actively going out of his way to cause harm, you know? And somebody can jump in here and be like, but what about the genocide? I don't care about the genocide. Don't bring it up. I could give a shit less. Or I couldn't give any more shits about it. I'm tired of hearing about it at this point.
No.
But and I know that might seem a way, but sorry guys. I'm just, you know, I got bills to pay and mouths to feed. You know what I mean? I ain't got time to buy a kafia and cosplay as some sort of Middle Eastern terrorist. I don't
No,
have
I mean, it's not even that at this point in time. It's just like, holy fuck, can we stop all the bullshit, please, and accept the fact that none of us can afford to live anymore. None
Right.
of us can afford rent anymore. None of us can afford food anymore. None of us can afford half the shit we need to live and survive because of this bullshit of letting these fucking idiots run the world and distract us with these dog and pony shows so we don't go, hey, how about we fucking cut their heads off like they did in France once upon a time and see how that works out for changing things for the better. Right? Because think about this. You go to France, you go to Germany even, you go to Spain, you go to Greece, you go to Italy. All the rich people pay their fucking taxes, scam where they can, tend to donate a lot of money to social services or museums or things for the public to make people happy. And they kind of shut their fucking mouths in public about things because they can have a collective memory of heads being chopped off by poor, hungry people. The British
Right.
never had that, so they don't do it in England. They just run their fucking mouths. And the Americans are tiredly overdue for a populist uprising of poor people to cut off some fucking billionaire and millionaire heads and go, maybe we should fucking calm down and remember that we need to.
You
keep
know,
these people
Jefferson
happy.
agrees with you.
I know Jefferson agrees with me. The
But-
tree of freedom must be watered with the blood of patriots from time.
But at the same time, I'm not going to say that for multiple reasons, I will not say that I condone violence.
No, I'm not saying I condone violence. I just condone maybe,
A reset?
feeling a reset and a slightly unpleasant one.
Perhaps a more egalitarian system, and no, not socialism or communism,
No,
because
no,
they're
no,
not
no, no,
egalitarian.
No. Perhaps just, a little choppy, shut the fucky uppy, just maybe.
Well, I don't know about you and your country, but I know in my country why things are the way they are.
Why is that?
And the brilliant, I think possibly greatest philosopher of our time, Dave Chappelle, he said why. Because he was watching Trump on stage with Hillary, and Trump said the system is crooked. And Hillary and Barack Obama were like, no, it's not. And he's like, yes, it is. And then this was during when he was running, right?
Yeah.
Not this time, but a couple
First
times
time.
back. And Dave Chappelle said he sat there and watched a billionaire white man tell a woman and a black man that the U.S. government was corrupt, and them arguing that it wasn't. And when the moderator asked him how he knew the government was corrupt, he said because he takes advantage of all the loopholes.
Yeah.
And Hillary and Barack couldn't say shit because he said, because I take advantage of the system. And he added, and you will never change it because the people who donate to you take advantage of it too.
Yep.
And that was, Dave Chappelle says, that is when he knew that Trump had won the hearts and minds of all middle-class Americans. He's like, when would you ever see a billionaire just blatantly telling you what's going on? You know, like he, you know, as Chappelle said, he ran out of the White House. Trump did, and he said, "Hey, you know all that crooked shit you think they're doing? They are." You know. Now we got an issue right now with the Pam Bondi thing. We'll see how that works out. But
What's
and I'm
the Pam
hoping
Bondi
that
thing?
we don't lose Dan Bongino because he is an honorable, good man, and I'd hate to see him go. But
What is the Pam Bondi thing? Sorry, I don't understand.
okay, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, FBI, right?
Yeah.
Well, Pam Bondi has said numerous times she had the list, she had this, she had that.
Oh, that thing. Yeah.
And Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are both saying they're really concerned putting in their resignation because they're sick and tired of being treated like idiots.
Yeah.
Because when she says she's got the list, people come to them being like, well, where's the list? Well, they don't know. They're not the DOJ.
Yeah.
So then they try to say what they know and get cooked for it.
Yeah.
And so the big Trumpian thing going on right now is there are a lot of hardcore MAGA people who are demanding Pam Bondi's head, that she just be removed. As a matter of fact, Asmongold said that they should get rid of Pam Bondi and put Alex Jones in her place.
Jesus Christ.
It'd be hilarious, though, wouldn't it? Alex Jones up there bitching about gay frogs and shit. I
That'd
mean,
be something. That would be
the rest of the world can laugh all they want, you know. It's like whatever, but yeah, it's like so. Basically, the guys at the FBI feel like they've had their hands tied, and they're also mad because they're like, when they did the trial of Ghislaine Maxwell, they cut her a deal that her book would be kept secret. Her little black book.
Yeah.
Well, Bongino and Cash will know why.
Hang on, I'm listening. Go ahead.
That's just it. The Bongino, Cash, you know, people who are more on the tell us the truth about what the F is going on side, they want to know why her client book was placed in secret confinement instead of being printed on the front page of every newspaper. They want to know why, right? And now all of the conspiracy theorists are saying it would make possibly the CIA and a certain Middle Eastern country that's our greatest ally in the Middle East look really bad.
Why would it make Saudi Arabia look bad?
Oh, well, yeah, but
Get it?
no
Get
one
it?
cares if Americans hate Saudi Arabia.
No, but do you get the joke? Come on.
I do.
Everyone always says, oh, Israel's their greatest ally. Bullshit. Saudi Arabia is the greatest ally of America in the Middle East. They buy shit tons of stuff from America.
They do be buying shit.
Holy fuck, do they buy shit?
I mean, like every other month, they're like, "Hey, I got $500 billion. You feel like give me some of those F-35s? What's up,
cat? What the fuck? Cat?
And we're all like, "Yeah, sure." I mean, their whole army is barely one tier below our army when it comes to equipment.
Yeah.
We don't sell them the really good stuff, but we sell them the good stuff. We keep the really good stuff for us. You know what I mean? But you're right when it comes to not starting shit and buying shit tons of stuff from us. Saudi Arabia is maybe our best ally.
Yep.
They don't cause us any problems. They buy a shit ton of goods.
Yep.
That is a great ally right there.
And they give Western whores a reason to live called Dubai.
Yeah. If you're a Western woman and you're looking to make a little money, cruise into Dubai,
Don't
you
mind
know,
being
do
in
some
toilets.
incredibly, you know, degenerate shit.
Yeah.
And they'll pay you, you know, a shit ton of money, and then you can go home and hopefully, you know, live with what you've done.
I wonder how many of them go to God after they do that run.
I'm sure it's a hard thing to live with.
It can't be easy, but that's neither here nor there.
But you are right. I mean, Saudi Arabia lately, they've stopped trying to export their particular brand of Wahhabianism.
Yeah.
They've started buying shit tons of American goods. I mean, they told Joe to go F himself when he asked for more oil, but they turned around with Trump and was like, we'll pump it until, whatever, right? Just keep sending those M1s, like that new M1A3 Tusk. We like that,
Yeah.
Send us some of those and we'll definitely, you're right. And Bear, you are a observant human being.
I don't think you know what? I don't think I am that observant. I think the difference is that I just don't pay attention to the media bullshit anymore. So I just like listen and go, okay, and then I make up my own mind. You know what I mean? Like it's not. Yeah, but I mean, it's not hard. The information's all there. You just have to have the desire to think. And I believe the problem we have in Western civilization is that the desire to think has been turned into a brown noise designed to make you shit yourself. So basically, just not thinking is the easier way to live, right? And then, okay, remember last back in January, February, when they had the aliens in Miami?
Yeah.
I'm watching the footage and I go, that's not an alien. That's two guys walking. One guy's on a higher step. Like right away, I see it, right? And I watch, as many copies of the video as I can, whatever resolution I have. I'm like, that's two fucking guys walking side by side. You can see the steps. One guy's higher up on the step. They're walking, parallel to the stairs. That's not fucking aliens. But the internet just didn't shut up about it. Like the people outside, you look at there's aliens, look at the video. And I'm like, has the ability to think completely
I have a number
vanished?
of reasons why I didn't buy it. I mean, first and foremost, the fact that I don't believe in aliens.
Yeah, that's fair.
But two, why would aliens land in like Miami and just stroll down the street?
And just go for a walk. You know what I mean?
It's like, so what? These aliens needed to stop at the 7-Eleven and grab like a Slurpee or something? What are they doing?
Yeah.
And as a avid reader of sci-fi, that is some unbelievable shit right there,
So
some aliens
you,
just
I
landed and decided to take a walk.
Listen, I unlike you, I do believe in aliens. That's fine. That's just a philosophical disagreement. And I also believe when you hear some of these guys talking, the whistleblowers or the insiders who are going, no, they're here. And some of them walk amongst us every day and we don't even know it. You know what I mean? Because they just look enough like us. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, that makes a lot more fucking sense.
Well, there was supposedly that one guy who said that he got tucking up in a ship and all the aliens look like beautiful Scandinavians.
Ah, yes, the Nordics. So people often confuse the Nordics and the tall blondes. They're two different species, right? The Nordics are the ones Billy Meyer in Switzerland talked about all the time, right? The Semyazi and all these ones. And they're basically just tall, blonde hair, blue-eyed Pleiadians or something like that. Right. And then there's the tall whites, and that's where you get the guys who are down in the Southwest who are on those weather stations near the proving grounds and stuff. And they talk about the tall whites. And the tall whites are extremely fucking tall, first of all, like 9 and 10 feet tall. Yeah, you would think they're human at a distance, but when you get a little closer to them, you'd be like, oh, what the fuck? This is kind of crazy, right? Hey, Quick, what's up, man?
Hey, Quick, how you doing, homie?
And
we are currently talking about aliens.
We're just talking about the stupidity of humanity and their willingness to think.
That too. Yeah, that too.
But it led us to aliens. Anyway, so I'm not saying I agree that there are Scandinavians and tall whites running around, but I'm just saying like there's a whole mythology built up around this stuff that's as deep and robust and has as many verifiable witnesses as most book and man in the clouds religions,
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I don't know what they are, but I do know that I trust a U.S. pilot.
I do too.
Like if you have went through all the bullshit to become a colonel in the U.S. Air Force and you're behind the stick of like, I don't know, an F-35 or some shit like that,
Yeah.
I'm going to assume you probably are not going to lie about anything.
No, and you
Because, I
probably
mean,
have a pretty good idea of what's in the air on a regular basis.
yeah, you're going to know. My personal theory, didn't Will Smith, yeah, right? He punched that alien and knocked it out, drug it across the desert.
Welcome to Earth,
Motherfucker. Yeah.
motherfucker.
You and I have talked about this alien shit, and I think Raven and I have talked about it, and I have a tendency to believe that the aliens are here.
I believe. I
I
am
don't
open.
think they come from outer space. I think they're from here.
I'm open to the idea of them being demons. I'm not opposed to that idea
Right.
because for me, angels and demons and gods and all that stuff are not magical creatures. They're just extra dimensional creatures, right? That's all they are.
Absolutely could be.
So for me, I'm okay with saying, hey, these aliens that we think are, whatever and whatever and whatever are actually just extra dimensional beings that, listen, there's a whole thing on CERN right now, not right now, but recently, where this girl who worked there was talking about how they were seeing figures and they actually opened up portals and then things were trying to come through the portals and they tried to shut down. Now, I don't know if it's real or not. I don't know if it's true or not, but maybe
It's done with portals.
Yeah.
Like freaking the game.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying, there's lots of crazy shit in this world. There's lots of people talking. All I know is when I hear someone start talking about how they know something, I immediately know something too, which is they're full of shit.
Yeah, that's why I say I don't think. But
I
will go with you if you want to start talking about Agartha and civilizations under the earth or under the ocean, because a lot of these UFOs seem to have some kind of weird affinity with the ocean. Like as many USOs are seen as UFOs. I mean,
exactly.
They love being underwater, right?
Well, and that's why they changed it to UAP. Unidentified anomalous phenomena. So that way they don't have to say air, sky, land, space. We can just refer to them all in one blanket. Right?
Yeah. So those, I mean, could they literally come from another planet, or could they come from another dimension?
Or the one that I like, the one that I really like a lot.
Or are they the dinosaurs that evolved?
Or are they us? Or are they us from
the
future? Where we've reached a genetic dead end, so they've come back in time to harvest genetic material to try and restart the species. I love that one. That's right up my sci-fi button.
I think there was a sci-fi show like that.
Well, in Marvel, the Kree are at a genetic dead end, right? Which is why the Supreme Intelligence is always fucking around with them and doing crazy shit. He's trying to restart the Kree's genetic pattern to evolve because they've stopped evolving. They've stopped, they become dormant. And if you actually read the old Marvels from the 90s, they have the whole Operation Galactic War run, where basically they find out that the fucking Supreme Intelligence starts a war with the Skrulls, with his people, the Kree, so that the Skrulls will detonate, all through his planning and machinations, a negabomb on Kree, whatever it's, name of the fucking homeworld. Anyway, whatever the name of the Kree homeworld is, to cause mutations to occur in the Kree people, and that maybe 2 generations down the road they'll actually stabilize and start evolving again. This is interesting shit. But never forget, a lot of those comic book writers are into aliens. They were into wrestling. They were into Apocrypha. They were into Gnosticism. They were into magic. I mean, for fuck's sake, my favorite feud in all of fucking comic book history is Grant Morrison versus Alan Moore, 2 self-proclaimed wizards having a bitch fight all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I love that shit. What? 2 Scottish wizards are yelling and arguing with each other on the internet? I must pay attention to this. This is awesome. Come on. So
it has happened before. Aleister
Oh.
Crowley used to get into it pretty big time with some of the Golden Dawn guys up in Scotland.
Oh yeah. So for me,
They
I'm
are-
like, fuck it.
I mean,
it's
you're
all
talking
in the
about a
tape.
dude who literally got kicked out of Spain.
Yes, he did for being
The
too debauched.
Spanish are like, get the fuck out of here.
Dude, I don't mean to give you a hard time, but you're disgusting. Get the
Yeah,
fuck out.
you go. Yeah. I mean,
Hasta la
but,
bye-bye.
the most hilarious thing is Alan Moore wrote one of the most popular comic book series of all time, and then shits all over anyone over 14 that reads it.
Yeah. And then after shitting over anybody over 14 who does that and talks about superheroes are a dead medium, kind of needs some money because he's pissed off fucking DC and Marvel to the point where they won't work with him anymore despite the sales they'll get because he's too much of a pain in the ass. He goes to work for fucking Rob Liefeld, taking over his Supreme comic, which is a Superman knockoff, and proceeds to recreate the entire thing as just a Superman clone by stealing all of Superman's stories and retelling them. So Alan Moore has the credibility of a fucking fart. You
He
understand?
does
Like,
look like a wizard, though.
he does. But you know who else looks like a wizard?
The guy who
Remember
wrote
Dan-
Forgotten Realms.
Yeah, Ed Greenwood. Do you ever remember the band Tears for Fears?
Yeah.
There was the
love
long-haired
that
guy and the short-haired guy.
Yeah.
Well, go look at any of their recent tours that they've done where they've reunited. The long-haired guy, whose name I can't remember, even though they're my favorite band, he looks like a fucking wizard now, but he looks like a cool-ass wizard. He's like us. He's lost the color and everything, you know, but he's got still got the cool long hair, but it's silver now, and he's got an awesome tight beard. He looks like a fucking wizard playing guitar. It's amazing. I love it.
Everyone
happy.
always liked Everyone Likes to Rule the World, but I always liked geez. And I think it's kind of funny. I think
Mad World.
Yeah, Mad World. I always thought Mad World was their best
Well,
hit.
Everybody Wants to Rule the World is my favorite song of all time, like 100% hands down. I've loved it since the first time I heard it.
No.
But Mad World's good. The better version of Mad World is from Donnie Darko when the original writer, Gary Jules.
Oh, when they did all slow.
Oh, my fuck is that?
Yeah.
That's so good.
And I know we've talked about this before, but credibility of a fart. So pretty credible then.
No, quickly. My God, what is going on in England where you guys think farts are credible?
Well, they're not deniable.
They can be.
I mean, you can deny them, but everybody knows somebody did something.
Well, yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway,
Another
right.
band that had that happen to them was Alice Cooper.
I was never a Cooper fan, to be honest.
When he did 18 originally, it was like 3 times as fast as the what you hear. And some studio guy was like, here's what I want you to do, Alice. Slow that shit way down. And the whole band was like, what? And the guy, you know, he was kind of like, you know, the freaking character from the cowbell skit.
Yeah.
You know, I make golden records for breakfast. You know, he's like, just trust me here, guys. Slow it down. And they slowed that shit down a couple tempos, and now look at it.
Yeah.
You know, that down now, bow now, you know, and now it's like it's definitely one of it. I mean, personally for Alice Cooper, I like Poison. And I like No More Mr. Nice Guy.
No more Mr. Nice Guy. Hey,
Especially when he talks about how he tried to go to church incognito, but the priest recognized him and punched him in the nose. I'm like, what kind of church is this guy going to, you know? And the priest's like, no more, you know, you're sick, you're obscene. It's like, what did he do?
Yeah.
It's like, what did you do, Alice, that made all of your friends turn their backs on you? And even Pastor Smithy is trying to throw blows.
Man, when you got a pastor throwing paws, you're, you know. No, it's the Skibbity Toilet song? What the fuck? What are you talking about, Coco?
There is some kind of skibbity is some kind of Gen X bullshit that we
No,
won't,
it's not Gen X.
or Gen Z. It's
Gen
like a
Z.
new thing. Except that purple-haired Democrat Congresswoman said skibbity in an interview, and it's like, really, you're like 90.
So now that's lost all credibility, hopefully.
So it's
because
like,
an old person
hello,
said it.
fellow kids.
Hello, you fellow
Yeah.
young people.
I'll tell you what, the memes that Gen Z and all that create, they're just like indecipherable. It's like, I don't know if they're trying to be funny or not. It's just weird shit. But this is a generation that grew up watching Uncle Grandpa.
Well, and Coco is a junior high or elementary school teacher, so he's exposed to like really stupid shit on a daily basis, I'm sure.
If I were going to be a teacher, I think it would have to be with the older kids. I don't think I could deal with the younger kids.
I think I could deal with the junior high level, not the high school and not the underage, because the kids are just stupid and
Right.
they're just going to drive me crazy. And the high schoolers are going to just want to challenge everything because that's what high school is all
That's
about.
what they do, you know.
And eventually, I'm just gonna fucking punch out a 15-year-old at some point. You know, it's just gonna fucking happen, and then I'm gonna be on the cover of the fucking local paper, you know, with handcuffs and a coat over my head. So fuck that. But with
Roll
junior
into
high,
class, pull out a thing of chalk and draw a big circle, and then throw a couple of gloves on the table. Say, this is welcome to my class.
yeah,
We handle shit in a circle. You know?
you want to be a big dog? Step into the pound. Woof woof. You know, like there we go.
Right? That'd be
Turn
funny,
into
but
dusty roads and be all that.
unfortunately.
Now, what it is and what it looks like is that you and me is going to have a problem.
And then, you know, fucking throw hands. There you go. Knocking out 15-year-olds. Perfect. I had a friend of mine. We used to work with this guy, Tony Romano, was an Italian guy. He's good looking guy, fun guy, Tony. Got a job teaching at a girls' school, a fucking girls' high school. And we're all like, Tony, no. And I was like, what? It's a great job. We're like, no, Tony. We have a newspaper up here, a scandal sheet in French called Allo Police. And it's basically like a tabloid of like, you know, various police reports and crimes. And there's always some sex story on the cover, right? And we're just like, Tony, you're going to be on the fucking cover of Allo Police in a month, you know, being dragged out to the car, you know, this headline being, you know, teacher violation of students or something like that, or, you know, don't stand so close to me or whatever it's going to be. So, Tony, please don't teach teenage girls. It's not a good idea. Yeah, well.
Yeah, it's like,
I know what Skibbity Toilet is. I don't know that the Skibbity Toilet did a version of Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Now I fucking hate it even more.
right. It's like,
What is going on in Eastern Europe that these women are all fucking throwing their bodies on? You know?
the last time I looked at Eastern Europe, Poland is buying as many weapons as we will sell them. Estonia bought a bunch of weapons from us for who knows why. I don't know if they have enough people in that country to use weapons.
They're finally taking out fucking Denmark.
And Russia is just grinding along, you know, doing what Russia do. They opened up another front from the north, and a lot of casualties. Trump's not wrong when he talks about, you know, 7,000 people dying every day. I mean, but yeah, that big wheel just keeps on turning.
Yep. I just find it fascinating that I figure Russia must be doing very well in the war, because I'm not getting videos on my YouTube anymore about how the war's almost over. Ukraine does a massive strike. Like, I'm not seeing those anymore. So clearly, Ukraine's not doing as well as everyone
Well,
wants
right
it
now
to be.
we care more about Palestine anyway.
That's fair.
There's that meme where it shows like the NPC and they open the back of the head and pull one chip out and put another chip in. You know, so it's like we were saying, if you had a business selling flags, you're doing great because you sold a bunch of Ukraine flags, then Palestine flags, then Mexican flags, then Iranian flags. It's like, I mean, as a capitalist, I have to appreciate that. You know what I mean? It's like, but yeah, you can tell a lot about how the war is going by how it's being reported.
Yep.
If it were going well, they would be reporting nonstop about the war. But the reality is, it's not going well. It's quite the opposite. It's going really bad. And apparently, Laos has sent a shit ton of people into Russia to help them dig up landmines
Really?
in the Kursk Oblast, because apparently the Laotians are experts at finding landmines
I believe it.
from, I guess, the Vietnam War. We dumped a lot of baloney all over that area, and they've kind of specialized at digging up landmines. So, yeah, Laos sent a bunch of people in to help dig up landmines. And then everybody's like, is Laos joining the war? And it's like, no, they're just digging up landmines in Russia, not in Ukraine. They're not fighting. They're just there to help train people on the best way to dig up landmines, because apparently there's a shit ton of them. Even though I thought years and years ago they were trying to put an end to the usage of landmines, but apparently the military thought about it and said, nah, we're going to keep them. Like, we appreciate your worry and all, but nah, we're just going to go ahead and keep, using landmines. They're awesome. RPG Dad, what is up, homie? So, yeah, there's that. Romania is still pissed off because their election was just completely they had an election and the guy that won wasn't the guy the EU wanted to win, so they just declared the election illegal.
The the largest current operating fascist government on the planet is the EU.
Yeah, I was talking to Satya, because Finland recently joined the EU or NATO.
Yeah, NATO.
And I was telling him, I was like, you don't want to join the EU because as soon as you join the EU, your vote does not matter.
Yep.
Because
No.
there's a group of idiots sitting in The Hague that actually say what's going to happen.
Yes, and literally, when they do have votes, they will do whatever the fuck they want anyway. They had a vote about the central digital currency. The people of the EU voted against it. The assembly of the EU voted against it, and the people in charge of the EU went, "Yeah, we're doing it anyway." Done. So I live in a country, so does Coco right now, where 30% of our idiot population thinks the idea of Canada joining the EU would be a good move.
Well, you guys wouldn't have to worry about that pesky passing laws or anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
Imagine
you
how
could
well
just-
that's going to go over in Quebec.
You could just kick back and I had read somewhere that some of the Quebecois wanted to join France, become a part of the French Empire again or something.
No, that would never happen. They hate France.
And I was like, how would that even work? But
Yeah, no, they hate
yeah, we don't gotta look at Eastern Europe. Freaking Western Europe's got enough crazy shit going on.
Boy, does it ever.
And it's like, so you got the EU constantly being dicks, and
Yes.
you've got Hungary and Poland constantly telling the EU to go fuck itself.
Yes.
It's like,
You have Ireland having a strong economy and being one of the few EU members who had a vote on the EU constitution, so voted against it because they thought it was wrong, and suddenly had their entire economy tank and get destroyed by EU's fucking around and shenanigans. Fascists. Belgian fucking fascists. And if you ever want to know how things work out when Belgium's in charge, ask the fucking Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Who I am happy to say we managed to convince him that hacking each other up with machetes was a bad form.
Yeah, but they replaced it with, here's some AK-47s instead.
No, they signed a peace deal
When?
last week.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, for the first time, I guess in a long time, the president of the United States invited the leader of the Democratic Republic of Congo and what was the other country? Whatever the other country was. And he sat down and had a talk, and they agreed to a ceasefire and everything. And then Trump kind of hit on the African reporter.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because she was like, I am the only reporter from Africa. You know, she had the Nigerian type accent and stuff.
Yeah.
And Trump is like, you know, this might get me canceled off the internet or anything, but I just want to tell you, you're beautiful. And he said, they can cancel me if they want, but I'm just saying.
Hey, man,
You know,
shoot
I
your
was
shot.
told you were beautiful, and you know you are. and the lady was just smiling like, "Oh, you Trump, you." But yeah, apparently he got them to sign a deal to stop hacking each other to pieces and shit, which is good because we've always, like, as the West, we've always been so concerned with like bullshit going on everywhere. But Central Africa, where people are literally genociding each other with sharpened bits of metal, you know, whether it's Tutsis and what was the other one? Started with an H, I think.
Houthi.
Houthis, yeah. And that war started over cattle. Because one
she's
tribe
Angolan.
was more cattle than the other or some shit.
She's Angolan.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, she's a good-looking lady. Isn't that
Well,
wrong?
Trump thought so.
I mean, she's you know, she's Amorosa, but like with looks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Good
But
looking lady.
yeah, and the African president of Democratic Republic, he was so like happy to be there. He was like, you know, glazing Trump and talking about how he knew Trump could help him and all that, which is, I mean, if you're from a little poor country and you're visiting the headquarters of the wealthiest, powerfulest country, I mean, you want some help. You don't roll in there and start talking shit.
Oh, you mean like Zelensky?
Like Zelensky calling somebody an asshole or something.
Zelensky's a piece of human shit.
He
Okay.
is.
I have nothing but empathy for the Ukrainian people being stuck in this fucking situation. But
Yeah, it's
everybody needs
horrible.
to understand that this situation is happening because of the successive Ukrainian governments that made this fucking situation happen. And the fact is that Ukraine needs to be split into two countries, East Ukraine and West Ukraine. And East Ukraine will side with Russia and be happy as pigs in shit. And West Ukraine will join the European Union and NATO and be happy as pigs in shit. And then we can stop having 7,000 people die a day.
Yeah, that's basically the Russian plan, is to liberate the Donbass.
Yeah.
At which point the Donbass, the original plan, now I can't say it'll happen, but the original plan is the oblasts in the Donbass would become their own country, the DPR, which is, you know, the Donbass People's Republic. And they would be a client state of Russia. And that would be great because you've got your little like border state, your little buffer state, whatever, right?
Hey, let's go back to role playing and talk about how we were talking about how people are stupid. I have proof that people are stupid. You want to know how I have proof people are stupid? Daggerheart is the highest selling role playing game.
Yeah, but you know why.
I'm very
I know
curious.
why. You know why. Everyone knows why.
Please share it.
Because of who it's attached to.
Yeah, but dude, come on.
I know, like, in a more logical world, we'd be like, no. But the situation is simply this. Like, most of the people who are critters don't even play D&D.
Right, but even then, it's
They might
outside-
buy the books, but they don't play.
It's outselling D&D. It has how many races are in that fucking game? Or sorry, ancestries. My apologies. It's like 50 or some shit. No, it's 18, right? Like it's 18 ancestries. Oh, it's got how many classes? It's got a fucking 2-page spread on a combat wheelchair. Like, fuck this, man.
It's basically all the critters who are never ever going to play the game
Yeah.
went out and bought it.
Yeah.
And they're going to put it on their shelf and they're going to be like, look at me. I'm a good critter. I bought the game. But they're not going to play it. That, not gonna happen.
I'm still just shocked at the amount of D&D channels that are covering it. Like, I'm still shocked by this.
Well,
it blows my mind.
one thing is that covering anything to do with Critical Role in a positive light gets views like you wouldn't believe. There's literally a channel out there that I stumbled upon, and all he does is recap what happened on the Critical Role game, like the night before or some shit. And this guy is getting tens of thousands of views. I mean, up. I mean, and he's got like tens of thousands of subscribers. And all he is literally doing is saying, so anyway, last night, Quinn did some shit, and then the gnome did some shit, and then the halfling, flirted with an elf, and that's his whole thing, is to give a pretty abbreviated version of what Critical Role did, like in 16 minutes or some shit. Dagerhart. Flooding my UT channel. Either folks promoting or demoting it presently. See, Bear caught me a little, I have to admit, a little off guard because I have totally not been paying attention to it. Because I knew I was never going to play it. So I was like, why even talk about it? It's like, I'm never playing this game. And that's fine, whatever, if other people want to play the game, that's a thing, I mean, it sucks that talented people can write games and not really ever push into the money-making part of it, and untalented people can throw something out, and because they're affiliated with a popular group, become, millionaires. I mean, as a capitalist, I want to love it, but yet as a person who likes good products, I want to hate it. Because it's like, well, it's the definition of crony capitalism. Mm-hmm. They're only making money because of who they're connected to, not because their product is actually worth a shit. And I believe, that's the definition of crony capitalism. So I think even Professor Dungeon Master did a review of it and was relatively positive.
Yep.
Because he won't do a review of something he doesn't like.
Well, yeah, or he's figured out how to get fucking views because, he's always talking.
And it's sad. It is sad that I agree with you. I think he saw the writing on the wall, and he knew if he put a video out glazing freaking Daggerheart, that would be a video where he would get a shit ton of views and thus, a little bit of change in his pocket.
Yep.
And, you wish that your heroes wouldn't sell out, and yet they do, they do. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, I call him out all the time and talk shit to him, but like he gives a shit about me. Probably not too much. I mean, he's mentioned me once or twice, but. And what's crazy is anyone you talk to that's actually met Professor Dungeon Master at con says he is one of the most approachable, nicest guys you'll ever meet. And he loves old school gaming.
Good for him.
But
In other news, they're remaking Deathstalker.
Deathstalker. Are we talking about the one where the guy tries to rape a chick like within the first 15 minutes of the movie?
No, saves her from being raped.
And then
And
is
then-
going through it himself.
Exactly. But they're remaking it, yeah. I imagine that will be left out.
Yeah, they'll probably have a female in the role of the Deathstalker.
No, it's a dude.
Oh, well,
It's directed by some guy named Steven Kontansky. Did a movie called Psycho Gorman, and a guy named Daniel Bernhard is playing Deathstalker. He was in John Wick, Nobody, and Barry. The film synopsis: The kingdom of Abraxion is under siege from the Dreadites, a mysterious horde of warriors whose sudden appearance are rumored to foretell the return of the Necromemnon, an ancient sorcerer long thought dead. Such times of chaos are times of fortune for men like Deathstalker, who, having broken ties with all guilds and banners, now ekes out an existence from the spoils recovered in the wake of Dreadite attacks. Our story begins when Deathstalker unknowingly recovers an enchanted amulet from a corpse-ridden battlefield and finds himself cursed by an arcane magic with a K. Now, pursued by a monstrous clan of assassins at the behest of the Dreadite Scourge, Deathstalker is forced into a perilous quest to reverse the curse and rid the realm of evil. Oh, fuck, Patton Oswalt's going to be in it. Ugh. I hate that fucking guy.
yeah, I just don't know how he gets acting jobs, but he does. But everything else you read sounded actually kind of cool.
Yeah, right up until I saw that Patton Oswalt's in it. Oh, Nina Bergen's going to be in it.
I mean, if he's just in there as like basically a little bit of comic relief for a little bit, I can handle that.
Yeah, well, Nina Bergman's going to be in it. I know her. Like, we're not friends, but we've talked.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Good for her.
I mean, it is about that time,
What?
Well, you know how like movies seem to be on this giant cyclical rotation where you have westerns, then you have fantasies, then you have sci-fis, and then Marvel did its thing for way too long.
Wait.
And then, you get some other shit. John Wick out of the blue is like super popular, and it's basically just Keanu Reeves talking about, you're asking if I'm back? Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
But
I
they got the Red
mean-
Sonja film coming out.
yeah,
the
they've been
trailer for it
talking
looks
about
good.
that Red Sonja film.
Well, it's shot, dude. They're editing now. The trailer has already been released. It looks good.
Good. I
Looks
mean,
violent as fuck.
well, it would have to be. It's Red Sonja. It's in the Hyborian world. So
It's coming out August 15th. It's going to be released.
you want to know something about the original Red Sonja?
It's a comic book story that was created by Roy Thomas.
No, I mean the movie.
Oh, with
Schwarzenegger and that
and
one giant
yeah.
chick.
What's her fucking name? Jesus Christ, Bridget Nielsen.
Yeah, I think didn't she end up married to like Stallone and then Flavor Flav?
Yeah.
Anyway, the name that they gave Arnold Schwarzenegger
Calidor,
was a name he's actually used in his
Conan.
stories as an alias.
Yes. And in fact, what's even more interesting is if you go outside of North America, the posters feature Schwarzenegger more than they do Bridget Nielsen in a big way, and they also call the movie in a lot of places Calidor.
And then, of course, you had the chick who played Valyria, but this time
She was Getris.
being a bad person.
She was Getris, the evil queen. They had offered her to be Red Sonja, and she turned it down.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Sandal Bergman.
Yeah. Who got her start, I think, as a dancer.
She was a dancer. Yeah, she was a show dancer. She as Garth once said, she makes me feel funny in my pants.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know. Do you want to live forever? She cut that dude's face. And that dude, I don't know his name, but I do know that I think he played for the Pittsburgh Steelers for a while.
Oh, yeah.
And the other dude was just one of Arnie's workout buddies and barely spoke English. That's why he never said.
It's his stunt double, right? It's his body double.
Yeah,
he's the security guard in Running Man.
Is he?
Yeah. What's wrong? Steroids make you deaf? You know, like that guy.
And then later he's like, must
I've
be
got
the
to go.
steroids.
No, he's like, I got to go score some steroids.
You know, it's like
fucking amazing, man.
Holy shit! I never put that together.
Yeah, that guy's amazing.
I have learned so much, like from you and my mom. My mom was the one, or was it you that pointed out that? No, I think it was my mom. That the woman who played Chani in David Lynch's Dune was Rachel.
Yes,
in
from
the original
Blade Runner. Yeah, it's Sean Young. Yeah, Sven Ole Thorson.
The reason she pointed it out to me was because I was bitching about how, like, every iteration of Chani is worse. Like the sci-fi version wasn't bad; she was okay, but yeah, you know, you do what you do with the money you got, right?
And then Zendaya.
Looking like she's constantly pooped her pants.
And speaking with that fantastic 10,000, 20,000 years in the future Brooklyn accent.
Yeah, it's like, and the
Sven
fact that she
Ole
acted like
Thorson.
she didn't actually like Paul or believe in the prophecy.
Yeah, that's where they're going. They're giving her agency. Anyway, Sven Ole Thorson is the guy you're thinking of.
Yeah, with the hammer.
Yeah, he's Schwarzenegger's workout buddy. They worked out for years, and when they were bodybuilding and all that, like he's like his best friend. So he put him in every movie he was in.
Well, that's good. I mean, you know, okay, hooking your bros up, that's a good thing. I'm all for that because you know what Finn the Human always says. The motto he lives by is "Homies help homies."
Who's Finn the Human? Was that Adventure Time?
It is. Finn the Human is not only the last human, but a level 1 paladin. Like, that's how he says he is. And then, of course, his brother is the dog.
Yeah, I tried watching that show. It was not for me.
I liked it because of all the hidden shit in it.
No, I get people liking it. It wasn't for me.
The Great Mushroom War and the fact that Simon Petrov got cursed by the crown and becomes the Ice King, you know, and all this crazy shit. And where did all the humans go? And is what's her name? Susan Strong an actual human?
I have no interest.
And then you've got the Lich, who before becoming the Lich was some kind of biological bomb. But at the moment it exploded, something happened and it became the Lich. And the one thing about the Lich is it hates all life. Yeah, Rexor, I think, played for the Raiders. And then, well, and I'll tell you what, my mom thought the new Conan movie was fine. I hated it. And she asked me why. And I said it had nothing to do with Conan. It had everything to do with the bad guy. Because I mean, how are you going to top Thulsa Doom? James Earl Jones and his little caboodle of, guys. You're going to top him with some dude that's trying to find a pureblood princess. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody cares about that. I mean, in Conan, the villain is at least 50% of it.
I had zero issues with the new Conan movie, other than the fact that it wasn't about a guy named Conan. Because if you pay attention, everybody calls him Conan, not Conan. They say Conan. So basically, they're referring to his cousin. So it's a movie about Conan's cousin, Conan, Conin, and I'm okay with that. It was a very interesting story to watch, the story of Conan. That's the way it is.
I just don't know if they'll ever
They won't
find another villain to replace.
They're never going to make another good Conan movie ever in their fucking lives. There was one good Conan movie, even though I like Conan the Destroyer. I quite enjoy
I like it, but I admit that it's like one of those guilty likes,
Well, it's so like Conan the movie has nothing to do with the books, has nothing to do with the comics. It's its own fucking thing created by Oliver Stone and John Milius, and it's interesting and it's great and it's fun.
Yeah.
Conan the Destroyer is 100% the comics.
Yeah.
It's Conan comics, right?
Yeah, because the wizard that turns into an ape-like thing that wore a red cape.
Yeah, that's from the comics.
It's all in there.
Mm-hmm. And the new one, the 2010 Conan, is, it's like, it's fine. It's fine. But that first Conan is its own thing. It exists in its own space and time. And people need to stop comparing everything afterwards to it, because it only exists as a object of time. It could not exist anywhere else. You'll never get a movie as good as that again about a barbarian with a sword. You'll never get James Earl Jones playing Darth Vader in a fantasy movie like that ever again. It's just done. It's just done. So
yeah, they had a giant Scotsman playing Vader, and then James Earl Jones doing all the freaking voiceover.
Well, and the worst part is they didn't even tell him they were going to overdub his voice. So when he goes to see the fucking movie, he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he was like the 6'7" Scottish dude.
David Prowse.
Yeah, and he's like, could you imagine though? Vader's like, I can't do a Scottish accent, but he like grabs the captain of the ship. He's like, "Oh, you can't!" It just goes off. It'd be like,
tear the ship apart and find me those plans.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny.
But Conan has the moment that I wish they had done in Star Wars, but that shows you the difference in writing skill between Oliver Stone and John Milius and George Lucas, which is Conan says at the end, I made you. I am your father. Everything I did made you what you are now. I am your father. And that's exactly what Vader should have been doing to Luke. Not, I'm your dad who went to the dark side, but no, I killed that motherfucker. I cut Anakin Skywalker's heart out with my lightsaber. And look at what you've become as a result of that. I am your father.
Yeah. Yeah. No disagreements.
Hello. This little guy's like, it's fucking 89 degrees in my office, and this guy wants to snuggle. What an asshole. What an asshole.
89 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
I am such an ignorant American. I just always imagine Canada is like
frozen. Yeah, I know.
Never getting hotter than maybe 50 degrees. Everybody's walking around in sweaters and toques, like nonstop and shit.
Thank you for making the effort on toque. I appreciate you called it a toque, but it's, it was better than most people. It is currently 102 degrees outside.
Well, thank you for thanking me. And my mother-in-law, who is Canadian, is the one that, because I just called them wool caps.
No, toque.
And she's like, it's a toque. And I'm like, a what? She's like, a toque. The thing you're wearing on your head is a toque. Yep. And I was like, okay. I mean, you're Canadian. I imagine you know way more about it than I do. Shit.
I love when I see people call them beanies or knit caps. I'm like, or ski caps. I'm like, could you just call it a fucking toque, man? Like, really?
Well, beanies is a totally different thing. That's like what what's his name wore that had the propeller on top.
That's a type of beanie. Yeah, one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or like Jughead with his freaking beanie crown thing he's always wearing.
Yeah, exactly. Holy fuck! It's
But anyway, it's about time for me to get out of here.
Yeah, it was nice seeing you, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might actually fire up my channel and just play music and have like 3 people show up, because I've noticed something. If I talk about Star Trek, I have no viewers, and if I play my music I make from Suno, I get very few viewers. So as we were talking about last night, which was I should do a Star Trek music symphony and then see if I can get negative viewers.
I think, and some people have said this, we've just like hit the point where if you're not doing YouTube for yourself, you're going to be disappointed, because it's not like it used to be. It's so much harder to find a crowd,
Oh yeah.
and you just do what you can.
I treasure the 10 or 5 people that show up and stick around when I do a music stream. I'm like, thank you. You guys rock.
Yeah, but I treasure that you show up to my streams as often as you do, and we get to
I
both
do
do
my best, senor. Sometimes life gets in the way, but I do my best.
Hey, it is what it is. SOCKS.
So what?
In Spanish, if you spell socks, it means it is what it is.
SOCKS.